we live? Hi, guys. Phil's just counting me down. How are you? It's Wednesday. It's right around 1:07, 6 to 10 minutes late, always on time. Welcome to Real Simple Cooking School. I am your teacher and host, Dawn Perry, food director here at Real Simple, and today we are cleaning out the freezer. Before we get to it, let's quickly review the rules. 1, we wash our hands. I just did so. 2, we play nice. Stay chill in the chat, and if you don't have anything nice to say, go bark up somebody else's page. 3, we silence our phones, but that's just for the folks in the room. Guys, I am so pleased for those of you who joined the Facebook group. You're really engaging and doing it. It makes me feel great. I feel like you're learning from one another. You're asking great questions. And I brought up yesterday that we were going to be doing some frozen food stuff, and look what I found. I went into the deep freeze here in the kitchen, and yikes, Grace and Ananda, what I found. I'm guilty too, though. There were some like popsicles, lots of frozen fruits. The fruits are not even represented here, but they are about 50% of what was in the freezer. These are just some of the savories. Now, I was super impressed with how well stocked a lot of your freezers were. You've got whole trouts, you've got frozen meats and other proteins, you've got frozen coconut. And to the friend who said you had ice, I appreciate you. Because that's the kind of wise guy I am. Anyway, these are some of the things we found in our freezer. I'm just going to go through some of them and tell you why I think they're great or why not. A frozen pizza. This one happens to have a cauliflower crust. That's not the point. The point is frozen pizza is absolutely something I have in my freezer, and I think something that you should have in yours if you're a pizza family. You can dress this up. You make a beautiful salad, put it on top, put a little prosciutto, ham, deli ham, whatever on top, and you feel like you actually made something. It is a fine emergency. Okay, frozen vegetables of all kinds. We definitely got that. Lima beans. My dad might be the only person on the planet who eats lima beans on the regs. Oh no, David does too. Steamed, butter, salt, they're delicious. And if you have some bad memory, like my mother-in-law, of lima beans, try them again. If you like beans, you like lima beans. I'm just going to say it and be confident about that. They're kind of starchy, but they're great, fibrous, good for you, nice to have in the freezer. Likewise with the peas. Now, Rebecca wanted me to address this situation. Pea sickles, we can call these. No big deal. When you defrost, you're just going to run these under some cold water. In fact, let's do it right now just so you can see. Pea-sickles? Pea-sickles, like icicles, but peas. P-E-A-S-I-C-L-E. You guys know that popsicles is like a copyrighted term? I probably can't even say it. Anyway, we just made it our own. So, defrosting these peas, I think on the box or the bag, they tell you to cook them in boiling salted water. I find just running them under cold water does the thing. We talked about this a little bit last week when Pamela, or was that 2 weeks ago? I don't know. When Pamela was here about freezing vegetables, and yes, you do want to blanch them first. Somebody asked in the comments in the group about freezing broccoli stems, which was so smart, but they were just throwing them in the bag raw. And somebody else, one of your other classmates, suggested to blanch first. They're right. It's like a sciencey thing, something about the cell walls. Vegetables, you know, are full of water. It's one of the reasons they're so good for us. And so they freeze weird when they're raw. And more importantly, they defrost weird when you freeze them raw. So blanch them first. All that means is cook them briefly in boiling salted water, shock them in ice water, and then you freeze them. Anyway, the vegetables we buy frozen have already been blanched, so they're already cooked. So generally, I just like add them frozen to soups and stuff because they're going to defrost really quickly, or just run them under cold running water. Let me try one. Tastes great. Don't need to do anything to it. We'll use those in a second. So peas are a thing I always have. Lima beans if you're into it. A frozen pizza. Puff pastry. Love it. Dress it up, dress it down. Easy weeknight meal. Defrost this guy. Top it with some shredded cheese, slice a tomato, put it on top, you have a fancy pizza on your hands. Also good for entertaining. What else we got? Frozen grains. I'm gonna say not that well wrapped, you guys. G-A, you know who I'm talking to. Just wrap it up nice. when you freeze anything yourself, make sure to give it a little bit of breathing room, especially if you're freezing in a container like this, because it will expand. This didn't expand, this was just like a bad job. Anyway, great to have frozen grains on hand. Cook them first, bag them up. Rebecca Longshore has a question.
Yeah, do you just take them from the pot to a baggie?
Great question. To the pot, from the pot to the baggie, I would suggest cook them, cool them. Best way to do it, spread them out on a rim baking sheet, let them cool, then bag them up. Most effective, and it won't like warm up your freezer while you do it. Some other items, frozen sweet potatoes, fire roasted. In fact, I didn't even know they made this product until Grace brought it home. Delicious as a base for hash browns in the AM if you're a hash brown family on the weekends, or using in layered things. I believe Grace used these in a breakfast taco casserole. Brooke, drop the link. Great way to use these. Also, you could use like the regular frozen hash browns in that application. What else we got? Waffle cut fries. Was just talking about these last week. I don't know why I don't have these in my home freezer, but like these are delicious. Alexia brand actually makes a great product with no weird stuff in there, just like some seasonings, potatoes, but yummy. Way to like make a weeknight meal a treat with some waffle fries. Okay, what else we got? Chia seeds for the health nut in your life. Corn, we're actually going to use this. I'm going to do the exact same thing I did with the peas. I'm just going to run it under some cold water. And remember, you can do the same thing you did with your other veg. Look, cornsicle. You're going to cut the corn off the cob. This is like in August, September, when corn is super awesome. Blanch it in boiling salted water. Remember, going to bring your pot to a rolling boil, season it well with salt, drop the corn in, a couple of minutes, take it out with a strainer, put it in ice water to stop the cooking, spread it out on a sheet, put it in a bag, you got frozen corn whenever you want it. Or just buy a bag, whichever you prefer. So, gonna rinse this again, cold water. I'm just breaking it with my hands because that cornsicle was legit. And that's it. While I was at it, I did find some like interesting moments in the refrigerator as well. So not only are you guys going to figure out what to do with some stuff in the freezer, but we're also going to use some of the last legs things in the fridge. A couple more things that were in the freezer. Chicken stock, whatever stock you like, keep it on hand. We talked about box stock. Brooke, drop the link. It's fun. It's like dropping my own beat. Box stock, great to have on hand. Homemade is preferable if not everyone has time. A lot of your supermarkets will make their own stock. Look for it probably like in the deli section near the soups and stuff. If you eat meat, chicken stock is great. All-purpose veggie stock, also good. Sometimes you can find fish stock, but whatever you like, great to keep a quart or two in the freezer for fast soups. And even just to like loosen stuff up, sometimes cook rice in stock for extra credit. Anything else I missed? Okay, sunflower seeds. Nuts and seeds, guys. If you have room in the freezer, which I know a lot of you don't, just pop them in the freezer and they won't go bad. Nuts and seeds, you know, are full of natural oils. They're very good for us, but that means they can go rancid if not kept at the nice, right temperature. Keep them in the freezer and they'll last for a really, really long time. What else we got? Did I miss anything? Oh, bread. Again, not maybe like wrapped the best, you guys, but I love to have frozen bread in the freezer. Good for croutons, good for breadcrumbs, good for slicing and making little canapes. I usually buy like a big loaf of bread on the weekend. We'll eat half kind of soonish, and then I slice the other half, stick it in the freezer. It's ready for toast whenever. Just toast it from frozen and you're good to go. So that's a good way to kind of preserve the shelf life of your fresher, more like artisan breads. My preference, not a, what do I call it, requirement. I require very little of you guys, just that you like cook a little more and a little more and a little more. Okay, got it? Good? Questions? Okay. This is a crazy thing. We'll get to this later. But now to some things I found in the fridge. Scallions. They don't look great. That's okay. We're going to perk these up. Cabbage. Oy, also doesn't look great, but guess what? This is like the hardiest boy in the bunch. We're going to cut off this outside. He's going to be fresh as his first day on the inside. Cabbage is so economical. It lasts forever. It like really bulks up. A great thing to buy and keep on hand. This cucumber has a funny end. We're going to cut that off. He's going to be fine. Celery, it's like medium floppy. I'm going to show you how to crisp it up. So many learnings today. We waste not, or at least we try not to. And this romaine actually looks pretty good. While I will often encourage you guys to like wash and prep your greens as soon as you get home, sometimes it's nice to just keep it intact because you can just peel back these layers, the outer leaves that are kind of yucky, and you've got like fresh head of lettuce inside. Huh? Pretty good. Okay, let's get to it. We're gonna cook something. Yes, you could like make a frittata out of any of this stuff. Yes, you could throw a lot of these things into soups. Yes, you could throw a lot of the things into stir fries, but I'm gonna take you down a little bit of a different road, and we're gonna make these corn fritters, which are essentially savory pancakes with a little cornmeal in them. Okay, so like don't get nervous. But a great way to use up some of the bits and pieces in the freezer or the fridge. So in here I have, I'm gonna grab a fork. In there I have something like half a cup of cornmeal. Brooke is gonna drop the link to the corn cakes recipe. Originally this was developed by our dear sweet friend Charlene, hey Char, to go with the skirt steak, but you guys can eat these on their own. Which is an important tip to remember about recipes in general. You don't always have to make the whole thing. If you like really liked the side, like just make the side and serve it with something else. Anyway, I got a half a cup of cornmeal, 3/4 cup of all-purpose flour, some salt, some pepper, half teaspoon of baking powder. Those are things you have on hand most likely. Maybe you don't have the cornmeal, get it. It's good to have around. I'm gonna add a cup of milk. Liquid measure, let's review. You want to get down low and measure that way. Cup of milk, I think it's a tablespoon of oil. I'm just going to eyeball it. That feels good. And then an egg. Eggs, always have them, always. Can really stretch a meal, and then you can like make other stuff. 1 egg in the middle, my wet stuff in there. Just gonna like give it a little beat in the middle, and then we mix it all together. And like this is your savory pancake batter. That took like 1 minute. Granted, I had measured the stuff before, but you guys can do that fast. Especially something to think about is when you're working in your own kitchen, there's a certain economy of movement at work because you know where everything is. We all sort of learn to do the dance in our own space, and it makes a big difference. Oh, okay. We're not going to overmix. It's pancake batter. And things will soften as they sit here. But I want to add some stuff to here. We've got cornmeal going on, so I thought like, hey, why not throw in some corn? I'm not even going to measure this. Huh. Look at that. Throwing in some corn, and then guess what I found? Some Serrano ham. This could be deli ham. This could be just some shredded cheese. But it's going to take this even further to a savory place and make it like a meal unto itself. I may fry some eggs to go along with this also. Wow, this is a lot of Serrano ham. Snacks for the crew. Do you guys know about Serrano ham? Similar to prosciutto. Thinly sliced, cured, very delicious on, you know, charcuterie board as an little appetizer platter. This is actually very, very nicely sliced, thin. But this is going to just add another layer of savory goodness to this. to the pancakes. Any questions so far about freezer hygiene, I'll call it?
Someone is asking how they freeze their stuff.
Brooke, repeat. Can you say again? How to freeze?
How to freeze stuff.
Stock. Okay, I thought you said stuff, and I was like, have you been watching? Okay, how to freeze stock. It's kind of, I'm just going to use all this because, like, who's the jerk that leaves 2 pieces behind? Me. But I'll just add a little more. Okay, how to freeze stock. As with all your freezer stuff, you want to let it cool first. So, like in restaurants, you actually put the stock into a big thing called a Lexan. It's just like a big plastic thing. And you put that container in ice water. You just want to like cool it as fast as possible. At home, you can be like a little less fussy about it, but let it cool. Transfer it to like the freezer container of your choice. I really like these deli containers, and I'm going to address this at a separate time, but the reason these make sense and the reason you get so much of your takeout in this kind of container is because they stack and they nest when they're empty and they stack when they're full. See, it's like you got to take the tips and tricks from the pros where they make sense. So once it's cool, you transfer it to the container of your choice, leave a little room at the top, like 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch, because it will expand, and stick it in the freezer. Now, you can freeze it in plastic bags flat. I find it's easier to do that with like soup or liquidy stuff that has things in it. Otherwise, I just get a little nervous with all that wetness floating around. And I don't know about you guys, but my freezer never has like a perfect flat area for me to slide things into. Does that make sense? Is that helpful? I hope. Okay, so I'm just going to roughly chop this ham. And like I said, this could be kind of whatever deli meat you have. You could do salami, you could do prosciutto, regular old like city ham. And just break it up. This is kind of a lot, but it's okay. Also a great way to stretch some of the bits and pieces that you have. Okay, we got corn. We got our serrano. I'm just going to fold it in. And we're good to go. What do you guys think? I mean, part of the reason this is coming together like this is because at 12 o'clock when Jerry was like, what are you making today? I was like, I don't know. I'm going to go see what's in the freezer. We had always planned to do frozen foods, but part of the challenge was like, what the heck is in there? Because I know that's a challenge of coming home and being like, we don't have anything. I promise you, you have food to eat. This is the issue when like a snowstorm is coming and all of a sudden every single person and their aunt and uncle is at the grocery store and it's like, you guys, I know that you have food in your house. And you're just like a little freaked out and buying the Rice Krispie treats to make, or buying the Rice Krispies to make Rice Krispie treats. You just kind of like got to get creative and think outside of the box sometimes. Like this is not a thing I would think of typically, but I wanted to serve you well. Okay, large skillet. I got my batter here. Remember, cornmeal flour, a little baking powder, salt and pepper, some frozen corn kernels that I defrosted just by running under cold water, and a little serrano ham because we had it. Now we're just making pancakes, which I think was one of the requests that you guys wanted to see. I'm going to let this get hot. Now, if I were me, I might add like a little pat of butter in there, but we'll just use oil. Totally fine. Olive oil, vegetable oil. I think either is fine in this case. Any questions about that so far? We doing okay? Everyone's doing okay?
So many thumbs up.
So thumbs up. Okay, great. I'm going to use, what am I going to use to decant this? Just like a spoon. Here's the thing. Guys, so much of cooking isn't fussy. It's just confidence or feigned confidence. Okay, hot skillet, a little bit of oil. And then we're just going to dollop this in there. I haven't made these since I probably cross-tested this recipe in 2011. So I don't know how much I don't remember quite how much they spread. So we're just going to see. So just like dollop it in. And this is up to you. That's the other thing about pancakes. Make them as big or small as you like. But I think I'm kind of liking this like smaller thing, because then you can have a few. Or you can make one big pancake. I didn't arrange these perfectly. Ideally, I'd maybe get like 4 in the skillet at a time. But that's okay. And then you're just like taking a breath. Okay, chopped herbs would be very nice in this. I'm just thinking like some chopped chives or fresh thyme would be super yum in there. You could add spices like pinch of cayenne, little paprika, whatever you like. I did see a fish spatula. Quickly review. This is a fish spatula. If you caught it on stories the other day, you saw that this is one of our must-have tools. Yes, it's good for fish, but also good for flipping any old thing. It has this like thin, slightly beveled edge, great for getting in underneath whatever you're flipping. Rebecca Longshore has a question.
Can you use a fish spatula on a nonstick pan?
Here's the thing. The question is, can you use a fish spatula on a nonstick pan? There is some discussion about like using metal on your nonstick pan. I'm gonna be honest, like I don't really know. I think the old way of thinking is that you could chip the nonstick business, which was very bad for you, and then it would get into the food and nick up your pan. I do think they've made like drastic improvements in nonstick technology. I actually love a ceramic pan, which I think I've talked about before. Ooh, these look good. Which doesn't have a nonstick coating. Look at this. All right, I still got it. So I would say, to be safe, why not just use a rubber spatula or pancake turner in a nonstick, and we can get back to you. It's like Zuckerberg on trial. I don't know, I'll get right back to you. I'm just glad I'm not at a Senate hearing right now. Okay, and as there is room, you can add more. Now, you see here my very handy setup. I've got our trusty rim baking sheet. Inexpensive, get them on the internet, or if you have a restaurant supply store in your hometown, go there. Very inexpensive, super durable, wire rack set inside. Why the wire rack? Like, why can't I just put it on there? Because the bottom will get soggy. Whether it's like a crispy fried cutlet or bacon or pancake, if I put it right on the surface, the bottom's gonna steam, right? Make sense? You put it on a rack, the air circulates, and it doesn't get soggy on the bottom. So it'll maintain this like nice dry exterior. Good? Okay. Any other questions? Fish spatula, pancakes, the internet. Just kidding. Please don't ask me about the internet. I do think some like shredded cheddar cheese would be very good in here. Oh, it is a little hot. You know why? It's kind of smoking. So I'm going to flip this guy. And just like regular pancakes, Phil, can you get in? Tessa, get in. Just like regular pancakes, you're looking for edges to be set and bubbles to appear on the surface. That's just the indicator that baking powder is doing the work. It's releasing air. And you're good to go. I'm going to add a little more oil to this. And this is what we mean when we say like adding oil as necessary. That's what we mean. Just keep an eye on it. You'll know. The pan will like kind of start to scream at you. Like it'll get smoky. It'll smell kind of funny. Like anything, it's telling you like, please help me. Add a little more oil. So this is like, I'm doing 2 tablespoon dollops. Oh boy. And we'll scoot that there. See, easy fix. How you guys doing? I'm getting crazy with my sizes. It's not that big a deal. Up to you. Again, you could make big ones. Like especially if you had a griddle to work on, make big ones. You've got room to do it. Now, pancake testing technique. You can feel it, just like a cake. Get in the habit of touching it. This feels done. It's firm. It springs back. Also, the bottom is golden brown. Nice. Nice, real nice. What else do you guys have in the freezer? actually, these pancakes are a great base for anything. You know how you can buy butternut squash puree, which was like another thing I didn't really realize you could buy made?
No, I did not know you could.
Yes. You can buy butternut squash puree frozen. You could like fold in a couple spoonfuls of that. Pancakes, great way to like get fruits and vegetables in the diet. Rebecca has a question, I can see it.
How about pumpkin puree?
What?
Pumpkin puree?
Pumpkin puree, yes, add it. Might take you to like a sweet place, but why not add some of the warm spices, a little ground ginger, a little cinnamon, a few grates of nutmeg, yum. Now, this pancake batter doesn't have any sugar in it. Add 2 tablespoons of sugar, breakfast pancakes. You see? Haha, really learning. Okay, now my heat's a little low. See, guys, remember, I'm the boss of this stove just for right now. David's really the boss. But remember, you can always adjust your heat and always just be paying attention. But these are looking good. That guy's not ready. This guy close to ready, this guy close to ready. The edges are set. Bubbles are starting to appear. The only issue with pancakes is they are kind of like an active time sitch. Like you've got to kind of be here paying attention. But once I get through a couple more, I'm going to go ahead and make the salad and show you what's up. Any questions? Also, guys, move the skillet around if you need to, okay? Like, this is like an awkward angle, because once I get under there, where am I going to flip it? Only away from me, and that doesn't feel comfortable or confident at all. For whatever reason, I don't know about you guys, when I flip, it's easier for me to flip towards. So I just move the handle from, what's that, 8 o'clock to 4 o'clock. Okay, getting under. And don't be afraid to use the edge of the skillet to kind of help you get a better purchase. But it's really about confidence. This one, we're almost there. Now a little too hot. Not my home stove. I need to get to know it. You know what I mean? Romance it. Talk to it. Ask it how it's feeling. Try not to make a weird face. Okay. Also, you can see like, this is a perfect example of how burners can be very uneven. See how like it's way hotter up here than back there? I could turn that pancake, but it's okay. It's going to cook through. And this isn't, you know, I'm not getting graded on this. Or am I? No, guys, this class is pass-fail. I hope that was clear. Basically, you're just auditing this class for free. For free. Gosh, giving it away. Okay, this guy feels about ready. Same thing, did you see? I just touch, firm. That's good. Pop, pop, good. This weird big one, good. Now, I'm gonna say this is looking a little dry. Gonna add a little more oil. Just gonna kind of tilt it, let it heat up over there, and then bring it back. Pancakes, butter or oil? I like a combo. Butter for flavor, oil for heat. But the oil's nice because they kind of fry. Delish. Actually, these would probably be good with maple syrup because you've got the salty Serrano, you know, bacon-like. Corn is sweet. Good idea, DP. And if you're, you know, using this to entertain or whatever, you could absolutely put the oven on 200, pop the sheet pan in there, and keep these warm until they're ready to go. But I will say, and I think we've talked about this before, I think there's a lot of pressure to like eat hot food. I am rarely eating hot food at home, unless it's soup, like unless it's coming off of a boil. It's kind of like warm-ish, room temp. It's fine. You can always stick it in the microwave. Okay, guys, that's all my batter. Pretty good. What will we get? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Very nice. 3 pancakes per person. Sounds like a great dinner. I'm gonna let those do their thing, and while they are cooking, let's prep some veg. Remember, we have sad celery, kinda ugly cabbage, scallions that need some help, and a cucumber with a sad tushy. We're gonna fix them all. Let's start with the celery, because what I wanna do is get this in some ice water. What I might do, in all honesty, is like save these guys for stock the next time I made it, or crudité. But what you can do is, and I'll do it with all of them, is just soak it in some ice water, and it will crisp right back up. Okay, so we're going to do that first. I'm just going to trim the tops here. Just because those have been exposed to oxygen, they will oxidize. Ba-ba, ba-ba. Dave, is there any ice in this place? There is indeed. Is it in there? Will you put some ice on top of that? Amazing, thank you. So all we're doing, filling that up with ice, and then we're going to fill it up with cold water. Meanwhile, I'm going to flip these guys. Confident. Confident. Make a face if you need to. Confident. Confident. What's wrong with being? What's wrong with being? What's wrong with being confident? Okay, that's going to sit in ice water. We're going to shred some cabbage. Okay, see this? Not cute, right? Flat side down, always. Look at, good as new inside, right? Flat side down, trim away that part. Compost for the rabbits, whatever you got. Good as new, huh? Very, very sturdy cabbage. Great. Cutting out the core, did you see that? I'll do it again on this. This is how I always deal with cabbage. Rebecca's mind is blown like every 5 minutes. It's the best. So I would quarter the big guy. So you've got the core here. You could do this with fennel too. I'm trying to think of other things with the core, but mostly cabbage. So core's here, and then you just come at it with an angle. Core's out. Very little waste. And then you just kind of run your knife through it. This guy's a little bit wobbly, so I'm going to be careful. And as you do get confident, you can walk away from your pancakes. But until you get the hang of it and you start to get a sort of a innate sense of the timing, just keep your eye on it. Good two-man meal, this one. Somebody on pancakes, somebody on salad. Kill the heat. I am feeling pretty confident right now. Okay, we've got some shredded cabbage. We'll go in this bowl, I think. And like, see how much it makes? I'm actually gonna cut it one more time just because cabbage can be like a little awkward to eat. So just gonna like give it a little bop bop there. And same thing, we'll just do that. I like green cabbage, I like red, I like Napa, I like Savoy. Whatever you like. I will say like these old school cabbages, the red and the greens, they I think have the longest shelf life. I'm actually gonna save that guy. He'll probably last another week, maybe 2. Tune in 2 weeks when I do something with that cabbage wedge. Okay, we've got our cabbage there. I'm gonna use these peas. Why not? They're good to go. And look how gorgeous. Peas, I don't know, like when did they get a bad rap? They're so pretty, and frozen peas, so much less work than the fresh stuff, which are amazing, don't get me wrong, especially high season, which is like coming up very, very soon. Okay, let's add a little bit of a scallion. Same deal. Anything with a peel, with like natural layers, is great because you can just peel off the potentially yucky outside, and you're left with like a very nice inside. We will give these a rinse. And then we're just gonna give them like a little bit of a chop. Now, all I'm doing is like making a crunchy salad out of stuff that I have. All raw things. You could heat up those sweet potatoes and toss those in, nice warm salad. You could just do this part, fry a couple eggs, put them on top, dinner's done. Any questions about that? We'll chop up this cucumber too. It's like tons of texture. Oh, and I'm going to show you one more smart trick. Another smart trick? Yes. So many. Okay, I'm just going to give these a quick rinse back here. A few years ago, there was like a scallion situation, I think in France. There's some like yucky scallions got out there. So like anything, just give it a rinse. You guys know I'm not a germaphobe. and I am not, you know, super fussy about washing and washing and washing. Like, I know that some of you guys were very upset I didn't wash my hands after I skinned the fish last week. Fair enough. And I shouldn't even say this, but like, I rarely get food poisoning. Check in 2 weeks when I'm recovering from food poisoning. But just, you know your kitchen, know your stuff, and behave accordingly. Okay, scallions, these are about to go, so let's just use them all. You know what? These would have been good in the pancakes. Everybody nodding, they like that. I'm just trimming the roots. I'm gonna give them a little bit of a slice. I'm just gonna wing this and do a cool thing. I'm gonna make a little flavored oil for my salad, which is another like really fast vinaigrette alternative. So say you didn't make your go-to vinaigrette this week, no big deal. I'm gonna show you how to do a yummy thing. Okay, that goes to compost. We're gonna do this size skillet, medium, whatever you got. You could also use a pot. Put this on the back burner, literally. Put this on like medium high, give it a little olive oil in this case because I wanted to have some flavor because this is gonna be my salad dressing. Is this on? Is this thing on? Okay. Things I want to soften, the cabbage, that's kind of it. The peas will be okay. We're gonna cook these. We're not gonna cook this cucumber, although you can. Do you guys know I wrote the book on cucumbers? I did. Brooke, drop the link to the short stack cucumbers. No, I did write a little book about cucumbers. Lots of great recipes. As cucumber season is rapidly approaching, I encourage you to check it out. Okay, this guy, a little squishy at the end, but he actually looks okay. We'll get rid of that like slightly soft nubbin and give him a rinse. You could chop it into pieces. You could do half moons. I'm just gonna slice like this, whatever you like, and throw it in here. Any questions?
I'm just amazed. How do you keep the slices from not rolling off the cutting board?
I mean, they're kind of rolling. Rebecca wanted to know, how do I keep the slices from rolling? I can't tell you really. And they're kind of rolling. Big cutting board might be the answer.
I like marbles.
Okay, we got some oil here. Now, nuts, seeds, whatever, oil, dressing. Okay, these are sunflower seeds. I've done this with sesame seeds, chopped almonds, walnuts, whatever, but I'm just gonna add some, not measuring, like a half the skillet's worth. I'm gonna say that's 2 to 3 tablespoons. And then I'm gonna put my scallions in. And all I'm doing, well, I'm doing a lot of things. I'm flavoring the oil, I'm toasting the sunflower seeds, I'm taking the edge off of the scallions, and I'm winning at dinner. Woo! And that's it. Also, because the oil's hot, it's gonna help break down like that rawness of some of the veg in there, which will help. It's also gonna add just like much bigger flavor than just like lemon and olive oil, which is all I was planning to do. But the seeds and the onions are gonna give their flavor to the oil as well. Make sense? I'm gonna season this. I've actually seasoned nothing today. There was some salt in the pancake batter. Salt and pepper. So guys, some of you in the comments, I loved seeing that you guys made the fish. So exciting to me. Some of you are saying like it didn't taste either as good or as flavorful as you wanted. That's probably due to under seasoning. And so I just encourage you to season a little bit every time you add something to the pan. It's like intimidating at first, but once you learn to season with a little more confidence, you'll find your food really, really improves. Okay, and then all I'm looking for here is fragrance from the scallions, green onions, same thing, and a little color on the sunflower seeds. And also the scallions are starting to like wilt a little, but they haven't started to brown. But if they brown, that's okay. But smells real good, right? Nodding, nodding, nodding. Okay, and then right into my salad bits. I'm just gonna get the last of this. But remember, it doesn't just have to be sunflower seeds. It could be sesame, huge flavor. You could add some spices to this. Let's check on our celery. Granted, I cheated and I cut it in half, but like, look how crispy now. And like, it's crunchy. It's great. So.
Will it stay that way now if you put it in the fridge for a little bit longer? Or will it kind of go back to its wilted status?
Rebecca asks, will it stay crunchy if I put it back in the fridge? Yes, if I store it properly, which is the same way I would store my salad greens, which is wash, 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 cold water, drain, drain, drain very well, and then between paper towels, roll it up, okay, in the crisper. You know, I had this romaine, but I mean, he's good as new. I think I might just save him for tomorrow because I think we've got enough going on here. I like the celery leaves. They double as herbs. They're very pretty. So I'm going to use those, and I'm actually going to keep some of the leaves whole. And otherwise, I'm just going to kind of run my knife through the celery. Remember, all of these are optional. I will, if you guys want me to, tell me. I can type up the recipes for both of these things. You guys probably want me to, huh? I think like Rebecca's being like, yes. But more and more, what I want you guys to realize is like, you don't need recipes. You just kind of need like a few ideas. And then you'll start to riff. And I promise you, the more you do it, the more you'll realize like what works and what doesn't work. This is not like rocket science, and I am not like the best at this. I just like happen to be really good at digging around the pantry. Okay, we got our celery in here, cucumber, some chopped cabbage, the peas, sunflower seeds, and scallion oil. Yum delish. I'm going to season again, right, because I only seasoned the oil. Oh, and I'm going to add some lemon. I'm going to season this. And just some lemon juice. I could zest this if I wanted to. Just kind of lazy, so I'm not going to. Squeezing this lemon over top. Now see how I'm squeezing it into my hand? So catching the seeds, and my fingers are the sieve. Okay? Let's start there. Let's toss it up and see how we did. Yeah. I'm just giving this spoon a rinse, because like, why get a whole another spoon dirty? And we'll give it a toss.
What do you want to serve these on?
Ooh, what do I want to serve these on? I want to see this on like a plate. We'll do one plated thing, and then one nice platter, and one, yeah, Jerry's got it. Maybe less of a that thing. Yeah, this I'll take. We style on the fly. Jerry, maybe more of like a circular thing for the salad, shallow, low rim, and just like a regular plate. Guys, this looks pretty good, and I just made it up. I think those nuts are going to be great. One thing to think about, especially in a salad or any meal, great, a variety of textures. Okay, we've got a lot of crunch here. These are going to be tender, and you'll be good to go. Should we taste it? Let me get some of the cucumber. I'm not making it up. It's pretty good. You want to know what's the best? That scallion oil. So much flavor. And like I made pancakes and I made that. And I would say this is like a fairly elevated meal, no? Okay, I'm gonna rinse this off so you guys don't get mad. Now, at this point, what I would encourage you to do, taste that like I just did. If it's feeling bland, give it another pinch of salt. If it's feeling like kind of salty and assertive, give it a little more lemon. Or if you just know that you like more bracing stuff, more acidic vinaigrettes, that kind of thing, add some more lemon. I generally do. But what I might do is just serve this on the side. And then when people serve themselves, they could take the lemon and squeeze it over. That's like more of an entertaining trick. Like, I don't know if you'd be like, here, baby Ramona, like, have a lemon wedge. I mean, we might, which is like annoying of us, but to each their own, right? Okay, gorgeous. I mean, come on, guys. Stuff from the freezer, dying things in the fridge. And we made like a very good looking thing. Okay. Some of our pancakes. I touched that like it was hot, it's not. Let's just check one. Let's check our first one. Yum. See, we've got the corn, the frozen corn that we defrosted, some of that Serrano ham. Very good. Serve it with a little butter if you like. Serve it with a little drizzle of maple syrup. And then you're good to go. And guys, you don't have to platter this up. Just be like, guys, come in the kitchen, serve yourself. Know that some of this we do for you. And that's about it. Any questions before we head out? Phil's got a question.
Is oxidized vegetables like more gross or more dangerous? Like, does it taste bad or is it actually like a concern?
Oxidized vegetables, are they more gross or more dangerous? Can you give me an example of said oxidized vegetable?
Avocado or celery, I guess.
I don't think oxidized is dangerous in any way. I don't actually know, but I think it's just an appearance thing. And then it just starts to taste not as good. But like a slightly oxidized apple, no problem. Same thing with avocado. Brooke has a question in the back.
Do you have any tips for saving Brussels sprouts?
How to save Brussels sprouts? Okay, interesting one. I would say I wouldn't recommend freezing Brussels sprouts, but they are like a baby cabbage, you know, mon petit chou. My baby cabbage. So they should last a while. One of the things I think with Brussels sprouts that's important is you want to shop smart. Go ahead and squeeze them. Like if you think about it, it's kind of crazy that all the produce is laid out like that so you can touch it with your filthy hands. But like, good for us. So go ahead and touch it. The Brussels sprouts should feel firm and like anything like heavy for their size. But if they're looking kind of funky on the outside, little past their prime, like dig through the pile and pick a different bag. I hope that helps. Anything else?
Instagram just loves it.
Guys, I'm glad that you like it. We're here, we're cleaning out the freezer, we're making ham and corn pancakes, we're making a super crunchy salad. Oh, I forgot my pretty lemon pieces. We'll be here next week doing something else crazy on the fly. But drop your questions in the comments on the group. Please join the group. It's super fun. Remember, it's a safe place to learn more, cook more confident, cook easier. No trolls. We do screen. But please join the group, cook along, show me what you're making this week. Do some freezer clean out. Again, I don't care what you make. I just want you to make something. Tag me, tag Ours Cooking School, and I will see you next Wednesday. Have a good one. Bye. Jerry closing it.